Hello, folks. Welcome back to the KMD Music Den, and we are here
in person.
Yes, Brad actually made the trip to my house, and you'll see why as you watch one of our other videos coming up here soon. But I'm very grateful. Thank you for making the trip.
I just crashed to a chair, guys.
I wasn't going to sell you out.
It wasn't on video, but I crashed to a chair. So
yeah, I mean, if we would have had the camera running, we'd be going viral by the end of the week. But we didn't capture that moment. He is all right.
Alive, yeah.
I gave him a much sturdier chair, much more comfortable. So everything's fine. We're just still a little shaken up. But we're going to push through. And we're here to talk about, as you can see by the title of the video, of course, the brand new album. Although it's not brand new because it did come out, the week before. We had to come back and catch this one. Yeah, well, so much came out the prior week that we were like, you know what? Let's just not skip them because we didn't have time. Let's go back and get them. It's not like they're 6 months old or anything. 2 weeks old, I guess. I guess. But anyway, this one is from one of our favorite bands that are going out, going strong right now in the, I guess you'd call it indie rock scene if you want to label things.
Yeah.
The great Deer Tick.
Deer Tick.
Yeah. Emotional Contracts is the name of the album. So, did you get emotional when you listened to it, Brad?
I wouldn't say I got emotional, no. I was more emotional I just fell. You guys missed it.
Yeah.
That was more emotional. But, no. I wouldn't say I was emotional to the album, but...
Okay. Well, we'll get to we'll get in the weeds here in a moment. But a little history with Deer Tick, a band that I've enjoyed for many years. I know Brad has as well. One of these days we'll probably do an entire video on the Middle Brother album, which is the lead singer of Deer Tick, the lead singer of Delta Spirit, and Taylor Goldsmith, the lead singer of Dawes. Did a one-off project, which hopefully they'll do another one at some point. But just this amazing moment in time where all three of these great singer-songwriters got together and said, hey, let's do an album for fun, and it's freaking one of the best albums I own.
Yeah.
So good. But anyway, back to Deer Tick. So, John McCauley, the primary lead singer, the reason I say primary is something that we'll discuss here, I'm sure. There's multiple lead singers and background vocalists in this band, which I think makes, sets them apart in some ways. Some people like that, some people don't, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, so Deer Tick is a band that I've enjoyed for many, many years. I think it was on my other recent finds video, or it's coming up. I finally found their album War Elephant on CD.
Okay. Yeah.
Very hard to find.
Yeah.
Found it in pristine condition, so I snatched that up. I've always been a fan of Black Dirt Sessions. One of my favorites of theirs. But yeah, as we typically do, I introed the video, so I'm going to put the spotlight on you. I think you're fairly familiar with their back catalog, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part. This is another one where you are more familiar with it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
But I'm a big fan of Macaulay's himself, his vocals, and really cool vocals. And like you said, the Middle Brother album is highly underrated. Yeah. I don't know why people don't talk about that more.
Oh, yeah, it's a masterpiece.
But yeah, with this one...
Yeah, tell me about Emotional Contracts, buddy.
I very much enjoyed it.
Great.
I mean, I very much enjoyed it. This album has a lot of... I mean, as far as the songs are really strong. I mean, there's not very much. The one thing I did take note of is I think...
Checking his phone for the notes.
I used to be able, I can do it now again.
I can, because I'm filming on the phone this time. If it's on Zoom, I can cheat. I'm not taking a cheat. I'm just kidding. The man just fell off a chair. Let's just be easy on him.
For me, because I do know some of their back catalog, not to your extent, but I felt like what set this one apart a little bit, because I do enjoy this one, and I would rank it pretty highly in their catalog, is Steve Berlin's work on this album. He did the production. He did the, he's a session musician. He's worked with R.E.M., The Replacements. I'm trying to think what else he's been in. He's done, I know I'm leaving off one that I really like. But he's done some work with a lot of different bands. And I think him and Macauly are in Diamond Rugs together. Which is
I like Diamond Rugs.
Super group. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can feel him a little bit on this album. Between the production, some of the keys, I'm not sure. I tried to look up to see who's on the keys, the organs, the pianos on this.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a definitive answer because I don't have the booklet. But I feel like he's definitely playing some stuff on here. And
yeah, I would think.
I think it really adds to it really added to the whole feel, the atmosphere of the album. Yeah.
Yeah, well, as usual, the way it's been going lately, Brad does his homework way better than I do. I'm feeling the same way. I really enjoyed this album. I put it pretty high up in their discography right off the bat. And the interesting thing about this one for me is that I didn't think we were going to end up reviewing it because of the way so many albums were released on that day. So I just listened to it as a Deer Tick fan and thought, oh, this will be nice to just enjoy it and not have to, analyze it or whatever. But I was like, man, we have to feature this on the channel because I've listened to it at least 5 times.
Oh, wow, okay.
And again, I had an extra week. But just for the sheer fact of enjoyment at first, because like I said, I didn't know we were going to do this review initially. So I listened to it just as a fan. I was like, wow, man, these guys are hitting on all cylinders with this album. Not a skippable song, really, in my opinion.
No.
Although you could say that about a lot of their stuff.
I don't remember feeling that way about any songs on here, no.
Yeah, but I think this was probably the most consistent, what I call album listen, as a cohesive album that they've put out in quite a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I just kind of peeked real quick at my notes here. And, man, as far as these songs, I have about 6 or 7 of them with an A or better grade. I mean,
Yeah.
there was not very, like you said, there wasn't much skippable on this album at all. None, really.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of highlights. So, I mean, overall, when you have that many highlights, and the lowlights on the album are, like I said, like a B-level track, which,
Yeah.
For me, I mean, so to me, this album is fantastic.
Yeah, and this is one of those bands where a B-level track is, better than some of the best tracks from a lot of other bands that are out there. But let's go back to, you said, you're a big fan of Macaulay and his vocals, as am I. But what are your thoughts, first of all, in general, about bands that have multiple lead singers? That John Macaulay's not singing lead on all these songs, and it's not just one; it's several.
I mean, to me, it depends on the band.
Sure.
With this band, Macaulay's vocals are so unique, and I think such a distinctive part of what the band brings, that I do love hearing it on almost every track. I mean, it's okay if there's a track or two that aren't there, and the singers do a great job. So
They do, yeah.
I have no negative feelings about this, but bands like Drive By Truckers, when you had like Cooley,
Hood.
Isbell, Hood, I mean, you needed to have all 3 singing because they all brought something so unique and different, such great songwriters.
Yeah.
There are bands out there, I think, that do it that shouldn't probably do it. They should lean heavier on
Goo Goo
their-
Dolls?
Yeah.
Okay, that always seems to be the one.
Yeah, that's an example that's perfect. I mean, there's no reason that, he shouldn't be featured on every track.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of people on the flip side of that coin that love Robbie. And not even just because of his energy on stage and his bass playing, but his personality. But he has a very different voice than Johnny Resnick.
He does.
And some people love that. Some people love the mix. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it for the Goo Goo Dolls. I mean, that seems to be a band that always gets picked on for this topic, maybe unfairly. We love you, Robbie. But, with this band, Deer Tick, I really wanted to make it a point to bring up the topic of the multiple lead singers. Because I feel the same way as you that, Macaulay's clearly the lead singer, the front man of the band, and you want to hear him as much as you can. But when an album is this strong and the songs are this great, and I'm almost to the point now, again, because I've listened to it about 5 or 6 times, where I couldn't hear Macaulay singing the ones that other people do because they did such a great job on when their turn was up.
And you hope that maybe that's what it is that they recognize this song leans more towards their vocal styling and
exactly.
Band like Oasis kind of did that, where Liam and Noel kind of knew where's a good place for Noel to step in and sing a certain song. And in a case like this, I think that might be the case too. They heard the song and said, this might be
Well, yeah, you bring up a good point. And, as someone who's, been in bands and been in the studio a lot through my life in a very small scale, we always would say, what is best for the song? It's not about egos. It's not about, I have 2 songs and you have 5, and that's not fair. But we always say, what are the best songs we have when we go into record this album, regardless of who wrote them, it's individually or as co-writes within the band or with other people outside of the band or whatever. And when you have multiple people in a band that can do lead and background vocals, first of all, it's a great blessing.
Yeah, that's a gift.
It's a toolbox, so why not use it?
Yeah.
Again, it works better with some bands than others. With Deer Tick, particularly on this new album, Emotional Contracts, I think it works fantastically.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up. Now, something else I noticed about this album, I wonder if you did.
Okay.
And like I said, I've listened to it many times. There are several songs, particularly on the side A, as we always talk about side A and side B, that right when the song starts, I felt like I was hearing like a classic song, like from the classic rock era that was like a signature riff or like something that was similar. I'm not saying they ripped people off. I'm not going there, but it had a similar vibe or even some of the same notes. And then it immediately became a Deer Tick song within seconds. but that initial opening music,
Yeah.
I felt like I know this. I've
Well,
heard
there's
this.
overall,
And I don't know
think
what that
there's
is.
a vibe, like a retro vibe to the album.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So I mean, I think if you look at the album and you're just playing it, oh, I'm bumping the table, guys.
Yeah. Ooh.
You got a little bit of an earthquake.
Yeah. Don't fall again.
But yeah, there's like a retro vibe. I think. I mean, there's parts where if you're not paying attention, it could sound like it came from the '70s. But then you're reminded that it's Deer Tick.
Yeah.
And it's not from the '70s, but.
Well, and I think, throughout their catalog, they have
Mm-hmm.
definitely had a throwback kind of sound in certain albums, certain songs. They'll sound like a 70s band, they'll sound like a 60s band, sometimes they'll sound like a 90s band. But they always sound like Deer Tick,
Yeah.
which is great. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't think we were going to review this, and I'm glad we did because I fell in love with this album. I didn't really know about it too much before it was released. I was like, oh, new Deer Tick's coming out, that's awesome. So I was pumped up for that, and really just an enjoyable listen. I've listened many times. I'll listen many more. Any favorite?
What's your highlight on this one?
Any favorite tracks? Well, there's it's hard to do on an album that's so good. But I did point out the opening song, "If I Try to Leave."
That's a great song.
I thought that started the album out very well. I think the song "If She Can Only See Me Now,"
Another great song.
very good.
Those are two of the ones I had.
Okay, well let's see if you had this one. A light can go out in the dark.
Nope, but that's a fantastic track.
Or in the heart. I'm sorry, in the
Yeah.
heart. I said dark.
He said dark, it's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
I took The Real Thing, the final track. I love hearing that bottle in the very beginning. You hear like the bottle and
Yeah.
and then it kicks right into that riff. It's like such a barroom riff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is cool. That's a cool way to end an album.
That is a cool way to
And a
end
lot
it.
of bands try to go slowly into the ending track, They kind of kicked off with a nice little rocker at the end. And
I noticed that they
Yep.
didn't,
Yep.
soften at the end.
Yeah.
What a great, even just the arrangement, I mean the order of the sequence of the songs, how that was put together as an album is a work of art, like we always say. So there was some careful thought, it seems, that put into the sequence and the production, the sounds, and again, those the guys that aren't named John McCauley in the band that sing, kudos.
Yeah, they did great.
Did a great job. So let us know what you think of the new Deer Tick Emotional Contracts. I would say if you're brand new to Deer Tick, I mean, I wouldn't steer you away from starting with this new one at all.
Yeah,
you could start here.
Start here.
For me personally, after this one, I might go back and hit up War Elephant, and then maybe Black Dirt Sessions. So, and Born on Flag Day is a fantastic.
Yeah. And get Middle Brother.
The Middle Brother. Yeah. So remember, that's
Yeah.
John McCauley from Deer Tick, the
Yep.
lead singer here. Matthew Logan Vasquez
Yep.
from Delta Spirit, and of course Taylor Goldsmith from Dawes put out one album, self-titled, called Middle Brother. If you don't know what we're talking about,
You need to, yeah.
you need to check it out.
It's great.
Drop comments about that too, because we'll do a Middle Brother
yeah, we
video
will at
someday.
some point.
So we digress. But as always, for now it's not on Zoom, so I don't have to think about which way I'm pointing. For
Or is it on
Brad.
Zoom?
Oh, wait,
Is it?
Brett. No, put your arm up again. See, it's live.
Oh,
I almost poked you in the eye.
And then I fall off the chair.
Fall off the
break
chair again, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't break a second chair. I'll charge you for the second one. But we should have been filming. For Brad, I am Keith. This is the K&B Music Den. Please like this video, share it on social media, and subscribe to the channel. Click. Well, you can, I guess. Click and or hit that bell for notifications. You'll be notified every time we drop new content. And check out the new Deer Tick. Let us know what you think of Deer Tick and Middle Brother. And we'll be back with more reviews, more ranking the albums. Could that be why he's here in person?
Might be.
You'll find out soon. All right, folks. Have a good one. See you soon.